Goldsmith.
Madam Speaker, I present a legislative statement on the Referendums Framework Bill.
That legislative statement is published under the authority of the House and can be found on the Parliament website. Honourable Paul Goldsmith.
Madam Speaker, I move that the Referendum Frameworks Bill be now read a first time. And I nominate the Justice Committee to consider the bill. The bill provides a generic framework which focuses on the mechanics of a referendum. It largely reproduces the same legislative framework that applies to the conduct of the general election. The bill draws on the foundations of our electoral law and does not create, nor is it specific to, any referendum. The bill is largely modelled on the temporary legislation put in place for the two referendums held alongside the 2020 general election. In line with coalition agreements, a separate bill is being progressed that would enable the extension of the maximum term of Parliament, subject to a binding referendum. At this stage, there is no commitment for that bill to progress, at this stage there is a commitment for that bill to progress to the Select Committee, but not necessarily any further. However, the Referendum Framework Bill provides the necessary legislative framework to govern the conduct of a referendum, if required, at the first or second election after commencement. Ensuring the smooth and efficient conduct of a general election and any referendum held at the time is obviously important. The Electoral Commission needs to be able to plan appropriately, so this Referendum Frameworks Bill provides a single set of rules to govern the conduct of any referendum held alongside a general election, ensures that the same rules apply both to the general election and referendum as far as practicable. The bill ideally needs to be passed by October this year to allow the Electoral Commission sufficient lead-in time to prepare for a referendum, if there was to be one, held alongside the 2026 general election. Mr Speaker, the bill focuses on the mechanical aspects of the conduct of any referendum held with a general election. For example, it enables the Electoral Commission to conduct the referendums using the same voting places and electoral staff as for the election, provides for the counting of the referendum votes and the release of the results, either with or following the rest of the general election, provides that the offence and penalty provisions of the Electoral Act apply to similar offences committed in relation to referendums. This bill does not include any specific referendum-related material. Instead, following the enactment of the relevant primary legislation for a referendum topic, an order in Council will act as a trigger for holding a referendum alongside a particular general election. Advertising is a key issue. To achieve an appropriate balance between freedom of expression and transparency, the bill regulates referendum advertising in much the same way as the Electoral Act regulates election advertising. These rules require promoters of referendum advertisements to place a promoter statement, to register if they intend to spend over a certain amount. In addition, registered promoters will be required to submit a return of their expenses if they spend more than $100,000. And there will be an overall limit on the amount that can be spent of just over $400,000. The bill also provides expenditure on dual advertising, covering the election and the referendum will count both to electoral and referendum advertising thresholds and limits. The bill also addresses some minor areas of difference from some rules applying to the election, which reflect the nature of referendums. For example, there will be no preliminary count on any referendum vote on election day to avoid delays for the preliminary count for the general election. Referendum results will be released with or following the official results for the general election. The Select Committee process is very important. I encourage members and the public to have their say, and on that basis, Madam Speaker, I commend this bill to the House.
It feels like an old man trying to tell a shock-style speech.
Yeah, I mean, how excited are we though to? Because he talks about corporations. You know, it's like, oh, you know, a promoter. It includes a corporation style, a body corporate, and uncorporated bodies. So, how excited are we guys to have big corporations potentially be a part of referendum advertising?
Yes, and a good example that we actively see as the Taxpayers Union is probably the best one to sit there and do. And that's on a positive transparency aspect. What about the negative ones, like how many people had Say No to Dope campaigns, and there was a lot that didn't have promoter statements on them in the 2020 election?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Yep. Welcome back. Yeah, I had to do that old man thing of go to the toilet while I was having a break.
Oh, hey, I understand the feeling. Have you changed?
Yes. Yeah. Jacket's behind me now.
Oh, fair enough.
Interesting, the groans that came out of everyone as yet another government bill was sent to the Justice Select Committee.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like the Justice Select Committee, I believe, is overworked in this current Parliament.
Yep. And I don't know if that's a tactic for slowing down or speeding up or what the hell is going on, but
It's rubber stamping.
every single government bill seems to be going through that committee.
Yeah, like even James Meager sits there and said it's like the 20-something bill that's gone through there at one of his speeches.
Oh God.
Like it was just like you could sit there and tell. Whereas other select committees have not had it to the same extent. But I mean, there were also some bills that should have gone, like the Māori referendums bill, said it should have actually gone to the Māori Affairs Select Committee, not to the normal Justice Select Committee.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be something to do with grooming Meager for future leadership.
Yeah, well, and it's the thing. He has been tipped as a potential future National Party leader.
I'm struggling to think why else. Why else is everything going to that committee?
Yeah, even though he'd probably still be a term or two. I'd say at least 2 leaders away before he would be primed to take it.
Yeah, well, building a profile for him, he's a first termer.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. Yes, I found him, from my experience, actually very good to deal with him.
Yeah. Hence my suspicions about what's going on here.
Yeah, including he's a big supporter of It's in the Ballot and what work we do.